You're good there. You're good here.
Go ahead.
Like I said before, I really like where this convo's starting, but let's intro this shit first.
Let's do it.
You are now tuned in to Respect the Connect. I'm your host, Johnny James, and I'm back again with a few of my nearest and dearest. Jay, probably bought the fuck by Trav, is in the building. What's poppin', Jay?
Man, I'm chilling, bro. I took the day off to be right here because I had to, bro.
Did you call in or did you just dip?
They don't even know, bro.
They don't even know. They're going to know when they watch the podcast. Len Words is in the building.
Yes.
What's fucking popping, Len Words?
Yeah, it's popping like red and box.
Like Red and Bakken.
yeah.
And as you guys can see, we're joined with a very special guest today. My dog, Jeremiah Bitsui's in the motherfucking building. Make some fucking noise. Episode 103. Let's get it. Again, we had to do that twice, and I didn't drop the ball either time, bro.
No, you were spot on.
Let's
brother.
go.
Everybody
And
was spot on.
with all
Shout out
the
to
wind,
everybody.
bro, my voice is shot. I don't even got allergies, and this wind got me out here looking like I need some fucking Claritin.
Yeah.
It's been nasty, bro.
Yeah, it's been nasty, man.
They said that we had hurricane like mile winds up in this motherfucker. Whatever the mileage of a hurricane wind is,
That
Yep.
qualified?
that qualified it.
No shit.
Bro, I looked out the fucking window and I couldn't see the sandias, dog.
Yep.
They call
Shit
them
was gross.
In Phoenix. They call them haboobs.
Haboobs?
A haboob. So
Really?
it's like a dust when you have like this big, just layer of dust.
Yeah.
Because you'll be there, and the next thing you know, this big wall of sand will come at you,
Like the mummy.
like the mummy. Yeah.
Underrated flick, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first one,
Good
for
reference.
sure.
Yeah, the first
That
one.
was, there was. You're right about
the
that.
one with The Rock. I don't know, dog. I rewatched it the other day just to make sure that I wasn't being a hater. the fucking graphics in that shit when he comes out as the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Bro, no, dog. Fucking the WWF video game on Nintendo 64 looked better than that
Well,
shit.
the beginning of the movie, he's like climbing that fucking mountain, carrying this big ass boulder
Yeah.
that he like drops down into.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wow, I can't even remember
That was
That's
The
like-
Rock when I don't think he was on steroids. That was pre. That was when he was doing where he was the Tooth Fairy and shit, right?
Oh, is that in that time frame?
That's The Rock off steroids, right? And then you got Jumanji Rock. I prefer him on steroids, dog. You know what I'm saying? Preference wise, films. Yeah, man. Jumanji's definitely better than Scorpion King.
Is it?
Yeah. Brendan Fraser, bro.
Yeah.
Another dude that just kind of got swept under the rug. You know what? I hate to admit this. I still haven't watched The Whale.
Me either.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
None of us
I
have
heard
seen it.
it's good. No.
I've
seen it, Jeremiah?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've watched it. Yeah.
Is it as good as they say it is?
I think like his, it's a character driven piece. Like, yeah, he kills it. Like as far as, everything that he did in that film. And I mean, sometimes you go in there and I don't know if you guys have done this where you hear something is really, really great. And then you go in there and you almost kind of go in there like a little bit of a hater. Like,
This can't be that good.
Yeah, let's see how good this thing is, It's not, it's one you actually, at least for me, I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's a good movie.
He's one of those actors that we like all kind of grew up with.
Yeah.
That, like, I mean, he's made classics, but when you talk about like great actors, you wouldn't say, oh, yeah, man, Brendan Fraser can just body shit.
Yep.
But how people were talking about The Whale, I mean, but I feel like when you're out of the public eye for that long and you come back, it's got to be for a reason.
Well, there's also some actors like he found himself in this pigeonhole, right? And so some actors, you'd never know how good they are. Maybe they're in this little coop. And then they get an opportunity like that, and then you get to find out who they, what they really are. So yeah, that is the thing about it, and it's the same thing with God, what is his name? The Wrestler. You ever watch The Wrestler?
Bro, that movie's fucking dope.
Who's that? Mickey Rourke?
Yeah,
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
So see, Mickey Rourke was kind of the same thing, pigeonholed. But everyone back in the day was saying he was the guy. He didn't get to flex those muscles until later, later in life. Yeah,
Yeah,
But I used to always see him at the gym. He'd be sitting there, like, doing his shit.
Getting to it.
Yeah.
You know what's
and he could box too.
You know what's crazy? We had just watched the Tupac documentary the other day. You know that Mickey Rourke and Tupac were like best friends?
Yep.
No shit.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke was one of the only people that went and visited him when he was locked down in the Pinta.
Oh, really?
Mickey Rourke, Madonna was one of them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke. That's crazy, bro. That movie's dope.
Jada Kiss in it, or Jada Pinkett didn't visit him.
Nah, bro. She was
There's some people.
She was Big Willie. She was Big Willie styling already right there. Talking about that, bro.
Yikes.
Hey, Will Smith been dropping some fucking bangers, bro.
What?
Really?
I swear to God, he dropped a fucking snippet last night on his IG page. He's saying fuck. He's dropping fuck, bro. This man is spitting though. I never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be on my platform saying that I'm going to download the new fucking Will Smith record when it drops. Promise you.
Nope.
Don't be a hater, dog. I know you're a Chris Rock fan, but let the man live.
The time came, he had to say fuck in his records.
Well,
dog.
bro, after he slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's
he started
mouth,
linking up with Joyner Lucas, right?
he's probably writing this stuff.
Now you
I
pumped
was
it up.
just
though.
about to say.
Yeah.
Now you pumped it up.
And
now
you're gonna
we're
go in, you're gonna be a hater. This ain't that
How
good.
good is this
Joyner?
one?
This ain't that good.
You know who's another one is LL. Like LL, you would think, you know, just because back in the day, you know, he's all smooth and groovy and all that. And bro, who did he drop one on? Like that battle rap.
He hit oh man, when he went to Cannabis?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Remember
Cannabis.
that?
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't think. And then everything I hear, even I think Jadakiss, I don't know, maybe, you know, they'll probably figure the wrong out, but a lot of rappers, a lot of guys had said that about LL. You know, he's legit. He's
You don't expect it.
Yep.
When he said, I squash you motherfuckers like a jelly bean. I was like, oh, this motherfucker for real, dog.
His last album was cold.
His
though.
last album was
Yeah.
cold blooded.
Yeah.
He has
Yep.
an Eminem feature on there, and bro, he eats with M. That takes some skill to stand there with. And M always gives LL Cool J his flowers, right? Yeah. And for me, you know, because I'm 39, so I liked LL Cool J, right? But he was a little bit before me, right? Just enough to where he wasn't like on my like level of GOAT status, like my brothers or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I was always paying attention, but to me, I was like, nah, bro, Big L, come on, dog, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim. Like for me, that's the type of hip hop that I was listening to.
Yeah.
I knew that LL Cool J was important, right? Obviously, but then when you hear him actually rap, you're like, oh, okay, I see what Russell Simmons. I see the vision, right?
Yeah. He was one of the first artists that signed to Def Jam. He was like him and Beastie Boys.
And
That's
Run
right.
DMC.
And,
Yeah, that's
and
right,
Then, there was like 3 people that started, and then like Run DMC was like the 4th act. Yeah, that's
man.
Hello, Cool J, bro. Yeah,
Ladies love Cool James, bro.
I'm gonna get your head.
Yeah, nah. I'm gonna squash you motherfuckers like a jelly bean. Hey, he really would have probably beat the brakes off of Cannabis too. Let's just keep it funky.
Did Will Smith have a Miami though in the new one? You think he's gonna drop the new one?
No, dog, Miami too.
Man. You gotta drop it in
If
Miami
this
too.
isn't leading to Men in Black, which has to be 5 now because there technically was a 4, then I don't want it, dog.
Okay.
We watched Men in Black 3 the other day. Man, that movie's fucking that bro. It goes toe to toe with the first Men in Black movie.
The third one?
Yeah,
That's the
dog.
one with Brolin,
when he goes
right?
back in
Brolin.
time,
I haven't watched that one yet.
and homie from Flight of the Conchords is like the bad guy. You ain't never seen Flight of the Conchords?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah,
ain't
that's
seen
a funny show, bro.
Yeah,
I've seen
Flight of the
pieces of
Conchords
it.
is good.
That's just
I've seen
funny,
pieces
dog.
of it.
That shit. They're from New
My
Zealand.
brother used to love that
Bro,
shit.
because it's wild. That's just bananas, dog. Has no reason being on TV,
Not
and it
at
is.
all, bro.
But you haven't seen Men in Black 3?
Nah.
Remember, he goes back in time.
Nah.
That shit's
That's
pretty
with the
dope.
one with Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good. That
Josh
one's a really
Brolin
good one,
plays young K.
Yeah.
He does a good job,
remember.
bro. That's hilarious.
I remember it coming out. I just
Last
didn't
2
watch
pods, Leonard's like, yeah, in about 8 years, that's just going to fall on my doorstep, and I'll judge it then.
I'm waiting for the disc to come from Netflix. You know.
Well, you're going to keep waiting, dog. Man, that era,
on my
huh?
list.
I still have 2 discs.
I gotta
really?
send a couple back.
Damn, hey, you better not say it on the podcast. Netflix is going to be like, hey, Jeremiah, you know that show we offered you, bro? We're going to need them 2 discs
need
back
that.
first, bro.
Gonna edit me out of Primeval.
Dude, this motherfucker's the one that owes us the discs, right? Nah. We'll just AI generate his content into there.
They cut you for like $12.
Yeah, exactly.
That's an era that a lot of kids ain't gonna know nothing about.
I know.
Remember, dog, you got the Q, You'd get in there, you'd pick your movies, you'd get 3, or if you like wanted to spend more money, you could get the 4. And I would always forget to rearrange my queue or send the movies back, and I'm like, damn, I've been watching these same 4 movies for like fucking 3 years. I gotta send these joints back. Redbox was another one.
Yeah, Redbox. I was about to say.
My older brother is a whole ass idiot, bruh. This man never returned those movies. He had a whole collection of Redbox movies.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, bro, you paid like $80 for this fucking movie. There is no world where Bill and Ted costs $80 on a DVD.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck that.
He paid to rent it, and then he just kept
And then
it
he had a
through the
whole
fees.
collection.
Oh my god!
I'm like, are you ever turning these back in? He's like, nah, it's already been too long. I'm like,
They already charged me for it.
Didn't they charge they charged more? Right?
Yeah,
They charged like 30, like you
they
could buy it
charged
for
like
20
the
in the
high
store, and then-
MSRP. Yeah, as much as they could. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, bro.
That's
Wow.
funny too.
So talking about Netflix, Jeremiah, let's go into that, bro. So for one, bro,
Yeah.
my brother, thank you for pulling up and being on the podcast,
Thank you,
bro.
Thank
you know what I
brother.
mean?
Thank you, guys. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me.
for sure,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
It's interesting, dog, because we've been, kind of talking a little bit. I'm like, hey, dog, you got to pull up, bro. It'd be
Yeah.
super dope to have you on the podcast. And we hadn't set no dates or nothing in mind, but I'm headed to Florida, so I got a flight to Atlanta, and Delta is always like on point. Like when they say your seat is your seat,
Yep.
that's your seat.
That's it.
I was up towards. I wasn't in first class. I wasn't cool enough this flight. You guys know how I feel about first class, anyways. I was right behind it. Right. I was second. I was a second class citizen.
Comfort
I was
plus.
comfort plus. Jeremiah be flying. He knows. He's got them Delta miles, bro. I was comfort
What's good
plus.
though is when you're like that, you're right on the border. You're not first class, but you're right. You're that first row of. You're like medium first class. You're comfort plus in between the first class.
Yep.
So you can stick your foot in the first class.
Yep.
You're
still comfortable.
Yeah.
You still got that foot space.
Yep.
You do.
You can still sneak under the sheet and then get on the other side.
And the ticket's way lower.
Yep. Oh yeah.
My first time on first class, I was like, really? This is the only food we get? This is like
yeah.
a micro. What the fuck? This is a microwavable pizza. Get the fuck out of here. But they are fast with the drinks.
Yeah. You get glass and you get real cups, but
I was lit. I was fucking lit, bro. It was my first time having a fucking, like, getting to actually watch a movie and get super drunk. It is kind of, you kind of do what the fuck you want in first class. I'm going to go fly this plane, motherfucker. Your first class? Come on,
your
dog.
manager was in first
Yeah,
class.
he
though.
was.
Yeah,
Right,
he was.
Yeah, shout out, dog. What the fuck, bro? Chop fucking liver up in this motherfucker. So I was right behind first class, and then dropped again.
Yeah.
Dropped again. Man, these motherfuckers pushed me I was in the back of I was right next to the back bathroom, dog. It took about 5 years to get off this plane, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, damn, well, at least I got a window. Like, hopefully someone don't sit next to me that is a plusity plus, because we're going to be uncomfortable in this motherfucker. So I'm sitting there, I'm on my phone, I look over, I'm like, Jeremiah, what the fuck, dog? Fuck you doing over here? They sat we were literally in the same seats. I was by the window, he had the aisle, and no one sat in the middle, bro, for our entire flight to Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro, it was dope. So I was like, dog, if the universe isn't telling us some shit, I don't know what the fuck is, bro. Because he said that they bounced his seat around too.
Yeah, I was the same. I was all the way to the front, worked all the way back, and then I swear I was telling him we were like 55, whatever the row was, way at the back, and then I swear I was C, and then next time I looked it was D, and then I moved and I was next to this guy.
We ended up
So
right
they
there.
just kept changing it.
You know?
Yeah.
No shit.
That's because the universe knew we had to sit there for 3 hours flying to Atlanta talking shit.
We could have did this. We should have did this on the.
We should have
on
just done the
plane.
pod on the plane.
I think
These
we
guys
had better.
Yeah, we might have. Now we're talking crazy shit. These guys would have been like, "What the fuck you mean you shot a whole podcast on the plane?" Hey, the phone's audio is good enough, dog.
We
But
could have AI-ed the man.
we could have. Hey, AI Lenwords and Jay.
Let's do it.
We could have had Jay's fuckbot edit the podcast. This has been a long-standing joke, bro, because I went and watched that movie. I can't remember what it's called again, but the dude buys a fuckbot.
Yeah.
We all said we'd buy one. Jay said he didn't. I think I've convinced him otherwise since then.
think
You said you wanted to buy 2 Lenwords.
I said I would put him to work.
Oh. Double back, dog.
That's even worse.
That is even
They gonna
worse.
earn their keep.
Bitch gonna earn her keep.
You're gonna work today.
Hey, so but it's funny because at that time I was like 2 episodes from finishing Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And man, bro, Breaking Bad has become this fucking cultural phenomenon, bro. Like it was fucking great. The universe that Vince built was amazing. Breaking Bad ended perfectly, like a lot of shows don't get to. Okay, let's start here. How the fuck did you become Victor? What's the story behind that, dog?
So so I moved to, the story goes back, like I moved to LA. I've always wanted to be in film and television. When I was like 13. So I did Natural Born Killers when I was, well, even before that, the very first movie that I ever did, I lived on the res up until the age of 10. My parents were both in rodeo. I was allergic to anything rodeo. Any shit that involved rodeo, I was allergic to.
Nothing to do with it.
So even if a saddle touched a horse, I was allergic to it. I was like the hay. I was like anything that involved, so they were just like, mom and dad were, like dad was a bareback rider, bull rider. Mom was a trick rider, barrel racer. So they were like the all-star king and queen of rodeo. They're both pro. And I came out and I was like, I was like a runt. Allergic to all this, allergic to that world. So I, back where we lived, like talking about like Netflix and all that, we had a thing called Rent-A-Flick, and it was just like a little trailer this size, 16 by 40 foot trailer. And my favorite section was the martial arts ninja movies. Oh, dope. So I watched everything just because I couldn't go outside. I couldn't be a cowboy. So I wanted to be a ninja.
I mean, I don't blame you, dog. Ninjas are dope.
I'll tell you, it's a failure. So I didn't become a ninja, but this Japanese film crew came in and they wanted to do a movie basically on like they had a story, and that all changed.
Ninjas on the reservation?
No, not even ninjas.
Okay,
they wanted to do like Navajo, like a life story, right? Okay. But it was about like a 5-year-old girl. They couldn't find the girl, so they were like, "Hey, can we hire your kid?" Because they were already hiring my parents' horses. So I didn't, not to be culturally insensitive or whatever, but I was 5 years old, so who cares? I showed up like a ninja, because I thought they told me they're from Japan. I knew exactly where Japan was, and I was like, and they're doing a movie. I was like, I'm gonna be a ninja. So that didn't work out. I failed, but I got a role in the movie, and that was my first one. And then that just kind of opened the door, just like we're doing here. Like I'd set up like little camera at the house, bring my friends in, we'd play and create like our own Saturday Night Lives.
That's sick,
Live in Color. You remember? So there's kind of a
Fire Marshal
fast
Bill
forward
was
to
one of
all
my favorites.
Yep. So there's like that was a big part of it. Natural Born Killers was a big part of it. And then I got a role, another Woody Harrelson movie, another Regency film. And I thought it was it. Like I was in Phoenix for we did a screen test with Michael Camino. You ever watch Deer Hunter?
Yeah.
Deer Hunter was the director. Deer Hunter. My agent was like, "You smoked the audition." He's like, "I think you got it."
Sick.
Which is like the worst thing to tell.
Yeah.
Because I was like, already in my head thinking like, Lamborghinis were driving around. I was like, oh man, And then weeks went by, and I was like, oh, this sucks. And I called her, we tried to get a hold of her. Same things, like, I'm not really hearing anything. Don't worry, hang in there. Long story short, Michael Seda got the role, and it was a show called Sun Chaser. So I didn't get it. Michael, he did his thing. It was good. But after that, I was kind of heartbroken. I didn't want to do film no more. So I wanted to get back in. I wanted to do directing. And so I moved to L.A., specifically to get into directing. Got into a few directing, producing programs. Never got into UCLA Film School. But I had friends. So when I started my first business when I was 19, I failed from my first business when I was 24. Had to lick my wounds, move back here to Albuquerque, live at mom and dad's for a period of time, try to figure it out. And I'm back on the res. I go back home to visit my grandparents. I'm herding sheep and just kind of taking the summer, figuring out what I'm going to do. I get back in and I start getting calls. Beanie Barnes, shout out to Beanie Barnes. Lords of Dogtown. She's like, hey, any chance you could be in town? What are you up to? And I'm like, nothing. She's like, can you be in LA? Like, we're shooting this movie, Lords of Dogtown.
Great film, by the way.
I'm like, thank you. Yeah, well, credit to them. Catherine Hardwicke, she'd done a lot of great film. I was like, she told me that, and I was more interested in that. Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, sure, I could, when do I need to be there? She's like, we'll send a plane, or you get on the next plane, we'll send a plane. Southwest, it'll be a big Southwest on the side. Like, it's your plane.
Just make sure you check in right here, dog.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's your, stand there and wait for them to call that number. But, no, so I get on, I get to LA, and back in LA, and we're shooting Lords of Dogtown, and it's funny because when I was in LA for that stretch before in my college days, I would get on the music videos, and I would just do my homework. So I'd sit there and just do my thing, try to hide. Like, I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I just wanted to get paid to do my homework. Mm-hmm. So I'd be trying to hide behind the crowd, do my homework. And so anyways, I met all these guys. Like, the last music video I did, I think was on Pretty by TLC right before Lisa Lopez passed.
You were an extra on that?
I became that. So then they started bumping me up. They gave me a featured extra.
Oh,
so you go back, you go watch it.
So you get camera time. Like, what's up?
We got some camera time.
Dope, bro.
But the shoot was crazy, man, because we're in Echo Park, and anyone that knows LA, it's different. It's different than Albuquerque. We're in this this basin. Like, there's this flood basin, so we're down in the basin, and just kind of one by one, we're in this. We're there with all these other actors. Like, I'm with a bunch of these dudes that are they brought in from Suspect Entertainment, Manny Jimenez. Shout out to Manny and all those dudes. So the funny thing, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the Moncandas, they were kind of a part of Suspect, and so the Suspect dudes rolled up in between takes, and they're like, "Hey, Holmes, where you from?" And I'm like, "I'm not from anywhere, man." And then they were like, hey, "Oh, no. I mean, like, who you like? Where you from? Like, what? So we start talking. It's like, who you with? Like, who you down with?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, man? Like,
I don't bang a set.
I don't do anything. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And he's like, no. Who's your agent? Who's your manager? And I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm not really." I said I was hired by Scotty's Bodies, and then they're like, "Oh shit, you should get down with Suspect." And I was like, "Suspect." And I was like, "What?" And they're like, and so I find out about Manny and all this, and so anyways, fast forward to Lords of Dogtown. It was all the bros from Suspect.
That's dope.
And so I kind of knew, on that side. So I flew back to Albuquerque, thought it was like just kind of a fluke, and and then right as I'm back to go to the res, director Chris, one of my very best friends, Chris Ayer, who directed Smoke Signals. Where's my native?
Hey.
Where's my native at?
Where'd Vern go? Fuck
in the
Victor. I thought you already used the bathroom, Vern. God damn it. Bro. Fucking Victor.
So Chris, he directed Smoke Signals, and then he at the time he had the script, and he was like, I told him a lot of stories from Albuquerque, just crazy stuff. And then he's like, "You remember telling me that one crazy story?" I was like, which one? He's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Well, I worked it into the film." He's like, "I just wanted to make sure you're cool." Like, I did that. I was like, "Bro, don't worry about it. It's all good." And I was like, "Good luck, man. Hey, let me know if you need anything." I'm thinking like maybe I could become assistant director or jump in with him or whatever. And he's like, "Actually, man," he's like, "there's this role. We've been looking for it all summer. And, I just wanted to run it by you." I was like, "Yeah, sure." I said, "I know some actors, I know all these dudes from Suspect, and I know some." And I was like, and he's like, no. He's like, I want you to play this role. He's like, "I want you to be this, this star in this particular, our lead in this particular part." And it was about like, here's the trip. So, less than a month later, I do it because I need the money. I'm about my cell phone bill, everything else, and so I do it, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I still got it, and I hadn't done a project in a long time. So long story short, and I'll end it with this, is basically I'm on set and I'm in per the script, guy gets caught with his gun, goes back home, and I'm herding sheep. Mm-hmm. So I'm finding myself on set 3 weeks later. This is the way God works. At least this is the way I think God works. I'm on set like herding sheep, just like I was 3 weeks before that. Me thinking like, what am I going to do with life? Mm-hmm. Like just in my own like prayer time, sitting out there. Anyone that's herd sheep, you have a lot of time to think. And I was just like, man, I think I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see where all this goes. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the start. It broke from me being a part of other directors, producers, and their things that they had, and me kind of opening up to being open to that.
Man, that's
so sorry for the long story.
Nah, bro, that's exactly the point, because I feel like some people think that it's one direct road, right? Yeah. They're like, they look at actors, they look at musicians, it's like, well, that must have been one road to get from A to B. Fuck no, bro. Sometimes from A to B, you got to go to fucking Y, and then you're at W, and then maybe you're lucky if you end up at B. It takes you in all kinds of different directions, bro. So when you got the role, right?
Yeah.
Did you have any fucking clue? Like, was there any part of you that thought, well, this is going to be a fucking cultural phenomenon mentioned with The Sopranos and The Wire and all these? It's definitely top 5 wherever you land at shows of all time, right? It's always going to be mentioned with that. Do you have any fucking idea?
Yeah, so fast forward to Breaking Bad. So at that point, like I'm just, just became a working actor, We did a movie. I just told you, work with Jim Sheridan. Got on another show. Did a movie, Flags of Our Fathers. Read for the lead. Victor got it.
Fucking
Adam Beach, but he was a little older than I am, and like he fit that age range and everything else. But Clint Eastwood wrote me in, which was cool. The tough part is my manager, the day of, calls me, hey, you're headed to the set? Yeah, I'm headed to the set. I hate to do this to you. You got a shot at Apocalypto for the lead. I hate to. Fuck. You got to make this decision. If you're not there yet, if you're there, don't worry about it. If you're not there yet, just think about it. Maybe pull over and say a little prayer, do what you got to do. I had to do it. Like Mel Gibson was in town for one day, and then he was in Mexico for the rest of the shoot. Mm-hmm. So point being is there was a lot of cool things happening. And I was downtown Albuquerque, still like I had a promotion company, and I had a loft downtown Albuquerque. Got locked out of my my car, the garage. Got locked out of my didn't have the key to get back upstairs, so I had to run back to the nightclub that we were doing business with and ask one of the VIP hosts. At the time, it was Johnny Ming. I said, "Hey, Johnny, man, can you hook me up, man? I need a ride." And he was like, "Where are you trying to go?" I said, "Can you take me? It's at the studios." Then at that time, the studios were brand new. Mm-hmm. He's like, Yeah. I wanted to see the studios. I could get in. I was like, yeah, bro, you get in and everything. Mm-hmm. When you ask a favor like that, and then a friend is like, then you're like, oh yeah, brother,
for sure, dog. Matter of fact, you could audition too, probably.
Yeah, there's lobster. They'll bring lobster out.
They got the girls from TD's North, brother. They're all there, dog.
Whatever you want, man. So he comes with me. We pull up, and I go in there, and here's the interesting thing about auditioning is it's really tough sometimes, because you'll walk into a room, especially in LA, because they play these audition games. Mm-hmm. It's different. In Albuquerque, it was different. But I went in to audition for Breaking Bad, and the weird thing was, I was like, there was like middle-aged women, just different, like maybe there were some younger people. They're all walking out, and I was walking in, and I was the only one in the audition room or in the waiting area. And so in my mind, I'm like, who am I? What is this? So I go in, I read, and the iPhone just came out. The reason why I'm saying that's important is because, and I always always tease him about this, but Adam Bernstein, my whole audition, he's sitting there, and keep in mind, iPhone just came out.
Oh, yeah.
We were in the dark ages before that, right? And so, now this thing is and he's sitting there like this, my whole audition. And and he looks up maybe once, and then he goes back to it. And then here's the toughest part. And I told the guys right before this about kind of the audition process. Right when we cut, it was casting director looks at Adam and is kind of like, oh, yeah, hey, thanks. Thank you for coming in. And so most of the time, that's what you get. Even if you killed it, well, sometimes maybe there's there's a deviation. But so I'm looking like, okay. So I walk out. That's it. I read for Los Pollos Hermanos manager. That was what I originally read for.
Oh, homegirl that is there whenever Walt's like, I came in looking for somebody.
Yep.
And she tells him, no, he's not here.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Yeah. Cynthia.
Oh, well, I'm glad you didn't get that role.
No, I know, right?
But see, that makes sense why he was kind of, not just the iPhone, but he probably already saw.
It was a character that wasn't like a big deal anyways, couple of scenes.
In his mind, he probably already casted her.
Oh, yeah.
He was probably already like, oh, this character's already casted, whatever. Yeah. So I go out, think nothing of it, walk out, and there's all these like dudes, like just like all these dudes are starting to fill in, signing the sheets. I walk out, get into the car. Casting director comes out, jumps in front, and she's no longer with us, but she has so much life. Like she was like that. So she came out, stopped the car, and naturally, like as minority people, what do?
I didn't steal nothing, dog. It wasn't me,
it wasn't me. So I'm sitting there like, I thought maybe I took the pen. I was like, I must have took a pen when I was signing in.
If not, I'll find it. I'll find the pen for you.
I already go into my pockets, like I'll give you whatever I got, And so she's like, no. She's like, hey, we gotta get you back in there. And I was like, for what? She's like, Adam wants to read you for another. And I'm like kind of blown away because I'm like, I didn't even think Adam saw me, Yeah. So she gives me the sides, and it's just one piece of paper, a couple lines, and it was the first scene and it was not even a character; it was a nondescript customer. So, long story short, I go in. I just have 2 minutes. I go in. I read in the restroom, just like I was doing my audition. I did the thing, and then I'm like, "That's as good as it can get." And in my head, I knew the character walked in, different Adam. Adam's phone down, completely paying attention. And then he's like, yeah. He's like, what are you doing? Like, what's your thing? What's that? Completely different Adam, which is why I tease him about it. We run it again, and then he just kind of looks at casting director. And that's kind of the time when it's like, maybe it may not, and I told you about the flip side of that, how it could work out. But yeah, it worked out,
man.
And but I just thought it was a one-day thing. I thought it was season 2, Mandela episode 8. I think I thought it was just a one-off. Yeah.
That's fucking wild, bro. That's crazy. You never really know, dog. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, really does work in some strange ways, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like the path will be laid out for you.
Yeah,
and it's like kind of like those choose your own ending books that we used to get in school. That I never really liked those. I'm like, bro, why can't you just choose a fucking ending for me? Why I gotta make all these decisions? But it's kind of like that in life because you'll get. I don't feel like our destiny is pre-written, right? But I do feel there's multiple directions that it can go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's up to you to make those decisions, dog. Like, look, if you wouldn't have been locked out of your apartment. Right?
Yep.
What if you'd have walked down to, I'm assuming it's Sauce and Raw, the club you were talking about,
it was
right?
Sauce.
He didn't say it, but I was assuming it. What if homie wouldn't have been there, right?
Yeah. Mean could already been gone. Yep.
Exactly, dog. Yep. Like all those things came into play, bro, for the character to be created and for you to land the fucking role, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild.
You're right. You're right. And I was on the day, I was just happy because I'd watched all of like Do the Right Thing. Like Spike was one of my favorite directors, when I was a kid. And then so Giancarlo Esposito, like when I met him, I to be honest with you, and I feel bad, and I've told Brian this, I didn't know Brian, but I know Giancarlo. So for me, I showed up. I'm like, I thought like Giancarlo was the star, you know, because I didn't even have time. But it was wrong. Like the way that my agent at the time threw it out there, I thought it was a cable show because she made it like, you know, I don't know, maybe this thing will be around. It has one season. Maybe they'll do another one. We'll see. Like little did she know, right? Yeah. But like, but yeah, you're right. All those elements came in. But I was just happy. I was just like, man, I got to work with Giancarlo. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, bro. Like, I remember I didn't watch the first, I missed like the first 2 seasons. I didn't watch them in real time. And then everybody was like, no, man, you got to watch this. It's a new and I had the same mentality. I thought it was something that was on like fucking TNT or some shit. I'm like, I don't know, dog. Like, I watched The Wire and shit on HBO. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's cool that it's shot here, but my initial was like, man, I ain't gonna watch that TNT stuff.
Yeah.
And then my brother had, he was working at Delta Linen, right, where they shot where the lab was at, right?
Okay.
So my older brother kind of inked that deal with Breaking Bad, and he's like, no, you gotta watch it, bro. So I'm like, all right. And then he's like, it's on AMC. Boom. And I was like, all right, no, that's not TNT. So I'm going to give it a shot. Instantly, I was like, oh, fuck. Because we don't have a lot of stuff down here, bro. So anytime that someone would mention New Mexico, Albuquerque, you see the Sandias, or anything that like that.
It was a balloon fiesta.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, before that, right? It
Exactly.
was a balloon fiesta. And
that's about as
Santa Fe.
Nationwide as we would get. So anytime they would mention us on a movie or in a song, like I remember when T.I. said, you know what I'm saying, Chi-Town to Albuquerque, I was like, let's go, dog.
Yeah.
You ain't never been down here, but you're welcome, brother. So I was instantly hooked because they were able to capture, even in that first pilot episode, dog.
Yeah.
The landscape, like it was like, oh shit, okay, all right, I see it, I see where it's going. So I stuck around, obviously, and yeah, man, it was definitely a great payoff, bro. So when you landed the character, how many? So you were season 3, season 2? What did you say?
Season 2, kind of like towards the end of season 2 was my first episode.
I remember when you pulled up because Walt was there, and you're like, he said he'll meet you over here. Like you just walked, he's going to throw some shit in the trash, and you're like, I remember that scene.
Yeah, 38 pounds, $1.2 million.
Yeah.
South
Yeah. Jay's not here. We're gonna make some fucking noise our damn self, Jay. Jay decided to get up and take a shit. Yeah, dog, nailed it right there, exactly. How many more scenes did you have in that season?
So then, you know, season's done. I think that's really it.
That was it, huh?
And then season 3 came, and same thing. Like I knew I've seen Aaron Paul like in some things. You know, he hadn't really hit and blown up yet, of course. But I meet Aaron because agent, same thing again. They're like, hey, they need you, you know, got to be down at the studios. So I'm like, okay. You know, I head down to the studios, and Aaron's there. And, you know, they basically deliver me. I'm on set, and he's like, hey, man. He's like, you know, we're talking a little bit, you know, where we're from, everything else. He's like, hey, man, congratulations. And I was like, what's up? You know? And he's like, kind of felt like you got the role, but basically it's your guy. Your guy got turned into Victor. You know, nondescript customers, now Victor. You're joining us for the season. So I was just kind of like, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I'd been maybe on just a couple episodes of a series, nothing serious at that point, and so yeah. At that point, I'm like, now we're gaining some momentum because season 2 hit, and now we're starting to kind of, you know, we're on that uprise. Yep. So yeah, that was kind of my intro into season 2 or into season 3.
Yep. That was the season with the laundromat. That was when they started.
That's the Super Lab. Yeah.
That's when the Super Lab was there. Yeah, that's when I plugged in too. Obvious. I'm not gonna lie and act like it wasn't because my brother told me and he had like secured Delta as that spot, and I got to be an extra too. So all that fell into place, and I'm like, yeah, this show's the shit. But it actually ended up being the little bit. But I don't give a fuck. It's still, you could ask people from fucking Japan. We had we had homegirl that owns the house. We had her on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The Breaking
Yeah,
Bad bitch.
Yep.
I didn't call her that. She calls herself that. So don't fucking yell at me. Don't go in the
Johnny.
comments like Johnny's a fucking misogynist pig. Leave me the fuck alone.
Cancel
YouTube.
Johnny.
Cancel this
Cancel that
motherfucker. Her IG handle is Breaking Bad bitch, right? So leave me alone. Right. But she said the same thing. Like she's, even though people were coming and fucking like putting forks and shit in her front yard, she said she loved the show all the way up to the end too, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that we were talking about, and I didn't really think about it till Lenwords brought it up. Man, your final moments in Breaking Bad, that shit was fucking gnarly, dog. Like you're sitting there and it's like super intense. You're like, yep, Walt and Jesse there. Fuck, one of these motherfuckers are done.
Yeah.
Fucking Victor knows the recipe, dog. Y'all are out this bitch. Nobody needs this motherfucker anymore, dog. And when you step up, you're like, look, bitch, I did what, dog? It's blue too, bitch.
Yeah.
And he just fucking murks you, dog. How, like, when you read that scene, were you like,
spoiler alert?
yeah, if you ain't watched it yet, dog.
15 years later. Dude. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Someone's going to be in the comments. I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, someone in Guam that hasn't seen it.
Now I know fucking Victor checks out. Don't worry. Watch Better Call Saul. He comes back around.
Watch that. Then Johnny ruined it for you, but you can watch it.
Right? So, reading that scene, dog, after you had secured the character, which you didn't expect in the first place, like, were you like, damn, dog, what the fuck, bro? I'm just trying to hook you up, Gus. We trying to run this shit together. I thought I was your boy, bruh.
Yeah.
You weren't his boy at all.
Yeah. No, it's funny because you know, you get to know when you're day playing, you're kind of, you know, people, you know, they're nice. People are cordial. You know, when you're on a show and you're around more, you know, you then start kind of knowing the crew a little bit. You know, they start knowing you. So I was always getting teased by like by the who was it? It was the caterers. They're like, "Oh, bro, you're still around?" You know? They're like, "No, they haven't killed." You know, like no filter. Like, "They haven't killed you yet?" And I'm like, "No, man, they haven't killed me yet." You know, and I'm still here. You know, like, "Oh, wow." You know. So then fast forward to the end of that season. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. And those episodes just started getting more and more intense, you know?
Yeah.
And then so the last season, I kind of screened, watched a different episode in a different place. So the last episode I watched in New York, and like it was a bar that normally you could tell this was a bar that was loud. And it was in between, right before the episode started, in between scenes. You know, it'd go back to being a regular loud bar. When that would come on, back on the screen, bro, they were serious. They were serious. Even I was talking, like, you know, people come up, ask questions. Even I was talking in between one of the commercial breaks, and it just went back on. And someone was like, "Victor, shut the fuck up." Everyone laughed, you know? And so leading up to it, at the end of that episode, the end of season 3, everyone in the bar was just like, and they all looked at me, and I'm like, I don't know anything, man. I don't know what's going to happen. But that's the level that Vince left it at. So season 4, coming into season 4, you know, everyone was kind of on pins and needles.
Yeah.
So when I got the call, Melissa Bernstein. Shout out to Melissa Bernstein if she's watching this show. She called me. She's like, "Hey, Jeremiah, we, you know, so happy to invite you back. Thank you for all your work. We really just, you know, love you being a part of our family. We're going to start this year off with a big bang." And I'm like, "Yes." Yeah. And she's like, "Unfortunately, you're the big bang." Fuck. So I thought I was gonna die, like, in my mind after she said that, because until I read it, I was kind of thinking about what ended up happening to Gus, how Gus went out. That's how I thought it was.
You thought you were
going to
get
like I thought it was going to be blown up.
They're going to blow you the fuck up in the lab, mix the chemicals wrong.
Yeah. So, but yeah, up until that point, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
How many times did you guys have to film that scene?
Wow. I think I remembered. I had the exact count. I think it was 38. Just the part where you're talking about the Boxcutter. Yeah. So that started back all the way. I flew into LA. back to LA just to get the prosthetic right. So what they had to do is they had to put a patch, prosthetic patch over my neck, and they had to do a molding. And then once they got the molding right, what they did is they tried to figure the device. So how would it come out? Would it be Pulp Fiction type blood?
Yeah.
You know? Or is this going to be like PG-13, type blood? What are we looking at? And so they had a pump. And so on some of them, bro, it was like the blood was, and then they found like the little in between. So even on the day when we were doing the show, like filming that scene, the tough part is we had to do it, blood all over. It's basically corn syrup. Corn syrup all the way down into your shorts, all the way down your leg. And then I had to go rinse off, come back to. So I had to do that like 38 times.
That's fucking crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was crazy.
I don't think no one that definitely hit everybody like, oh shit.
Yeah, dog.
Because come on, dog. And then especially, it makes it even worse after you watch Better Call Saul. Because then you're like, damn, Gus really was a fucking motherfucker, dog. That fool really just gave absolutely zero fucks. Yeah. But you know what Better Call Saul made me feel? It made me feel like fucking Walt was even a bigger piece of shit than I had previously been. He came in and fucked up everything, bro. Yeah. You guys had strategically built this perfect machine, bro.
The whole distribution.
And Walt came in and said, I got the best blue meth. I can do this better than all y'all motherfuckers.
Yeah.
The lie detector test determined that was a fucking lie, bro, because he couldn't.
Yep.
His reign was short-lived, bro. Gus would still be out here selling chicken and meth. You'd still be out here fucking with dead eyes looking at everybody like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you.
Killed all of us,
That fucker destroyed everything, bro. He destroyed it all, bro. And then the aftermath, his wife, his son, Jesse, he fucked it. Even Mike, bro. Watching Better Call Saul makes Mike's death way worse. Way fucking worse. Because Better Call Saul got to, I feel like it made your character, the word's not relatable, but there was more of an emotional investment in your character. Especially when the fucking reveal, I think it's like, season 2 or season 3? You pull up, dog. I'm like, oh shit, it's fucking Victor's back up in this motherfucker. Because Better Call Saul really was a slow burn.
Yeah,
right?
It was.
Yeah. You had to be in, I'm gonna sit in here. I'm gonna get through this. Because the first season, you got to be there to go. Not that the first season was bad, but it was slow.
Yeah,
compared to
very different.
It was very different compared to previous. But then once them bricks started getting laid, right, and you're like, oh shit. One of my favorite scenes with you in Better Call Saul is when you walk into Buddy's restaurant and his family's up in there and he has no idea, bro. He's like, he's gonna kill all these because as an audience member you're like, yo, Victor about to kill all these motherfuckers, dog. They all dead, your whole family's done, dog. So bro, it was dope to see these characters that had been established in Breaking Bad come back now for Better Call Saul, but all of the audience had more of an emotional attachment. Right?
Yeah.
So we got to see Victor come back. We got to see Mike come back. All these characters that are dead, right?
Yeah.
So once you get to the end of it, it left me thinking, man, fuck Walt, bro. That motherfucker, dog. When it's before, I was rooting for him, right? Yeah. I remember thinking, damn, I can't believe fucking Jesse's a snitch. Little snitches get stitches, motherfucker. Right? But fucking Walt, bruh, really was a motherfucker, dog.
And then you see how Saul crosses his brother, bro, in Better Call Saul shit he does with the legal documents. You're like, bro, you're on that type of fuck time.
And he still wasn't as bad as Walt.
No, but
and he still wasn't. Yeah, it was. It definitely. You can run the risk of damaging what you've already built. Right?
Yeah, that was the risk, yeah.
When you do prequels or sequels or any shit like that, because their expectations are high, right? Imagine if The Sopranos, they did it with the movie and it fell flat on its face, which I didn't hate the movie. It wasn't The Sopranos, dog.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a trip because even on the industry side, it was like, you know, for when we finished Breaking Bad, you know, I could walk in. We call it a warm room, you know, an audition room. If you're walking into a warm room, they already like you. You know, you only come in there and either disappoint them, you know, or light them on fire and they love you. But you'd walk in and they'd be, yeah, you know, or they'd have some, you know, hey, what about that? You know, it was rare to see that type of fangirl and boying, because you know, normally you just walk into a room and it's just like, oh yeah, this is the guy, you know, whatever. You know, you're the 100th actor that they saw. You know, Breaking Bad was quite different in that way. And then when we did Better Call Saul, yeah, you're absolutely right. Vince and Peter were taking a huge risk.
Huge. You
know, just to roll the dice. And yeah, that first season, they were getting their pace. Second season, they started to get on it. You know, when we started to come in, you know, they were strategic with it, because now you're throwing gasoline back on the fire. Yep. You know, but it's got to be a controlled burn, because you don't want to burn the thing out. So, you know, like that particular scene, I think I told you on the plane, you know, when we did that scene where we pull up on Michael. I'm trying to think of Michael's character, Michael Mando. Everyone's going to hate me for this, but I forget his character's name.
His character got the shittiest end of the stick,
We pull up on his dad, and we pull up on Michael's dad. They wrote all that out like a real scene. Like they wrote it basically like if we were going to play it for real. And up until that day, I thought we were shooting it like principal, you know. Here we're shooting it like third unit, and it's all in Spanish. So that's just the level of detail that they do. They could have wrote some like they could have been like, you know, yeah, just come up with some, you know, say some stuff to each other. Yep. But that's how detailed they are. That's why they are what they are. And then there's a creative culture as well, and they nailed the creative culture. You know, you hear about corporate culture. They nailed the creative culture, because everyone wanted to be there. Everyone wanted to be friends. Everyone was cool with each other. So that was the other part.
That probably makes the working environment way better.
Yeah.
Because film, music, that's a collaborative effort. Like, you don't want to pull up and you hate all your fucking coworkers.
Yeah.
That would suck. Yeah. I think it would come across on the screen.
It does. Yeah. You could tell when it's not what happens behind the scenes. Sometimes it doesn't help, or it bleeds into what happens in the scenes.
Which could be good or bad.
Could be good or bad.
So that's crazy to think that there's a whole scene out there floating around when you just pull up in the black whip and like, what's up, bitch? I'm back. Flick the cigarette out the window. Like, let's get it cracking, dog.
Yeah.
So there's a whole scene there that exists that none of us got to see.
Yeah. Well, so there's no. Well, the scene where we pull up on Michael Mando, like the dad, and we're across the street.
Oh,
that's
yeah, okay.
That's the one that they wrote.
That's
the
one they
thing
wrote
out.
the whole thing for.
Yeah, but what you saw in the intro for Victor, that was, you know, they were trying to make that thing slick. They're like, you pull up, you know, try not to even look, try to flick that thing, and try to hit the camera. Yeah, you know. So we did it a few times, and then of course the times you hit it, they're like, "Oh shit, the focus was off." You know, they're like, "Oh, hey, come on, man, get that focus right." And then you pull up again, and it's like you flick it again, and it's, "Oh shit, sound was." I'm like, "Come on, guys," you know.
Yeah, so they got you out here smoking a whole pack of Marlboro Reds just to get that one flick scene. Hey, bro, if I get sick, dog, I'm sending you the goddamn bill, bro.
That's funny. That reminds me, super random, but on the X-Files, there was that dude that just kept chain smoking cigarettes, and he actually didn't even really smoke cigarettes, but that was his character, so he just had to kept
going.
Smoking. Yeah.
If you watch X-Files, here's the Easter eggs. Is you watch X-Files, you're gonna see things that thread into Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing: is my wife, the first time we went to a Better Call Saul premiere together, the first time she met Vince, and keep in mind, Vince is used to this, like, oh my God, you're the best, amazing, you know. She was nerding out because she was a big fan of the X-Files.
That's wild.
And so he you know, here she is nerding out, and then she's like, I'm the biggest fan of X-Files, and he's like,
what?
X-Files?
Yeah.
Like, you watch X-Files? He's like, I love X-Files, you know, because in that time she was in her early 20s, and he was just blown away. He was like, you you watch X-Files.
He's used to the Breaking Bad compliments.
Yeah, he's used to Breaking Bad.
Yep.
But yeah, if you watch X-Files, The Fly, there's other references. You kind of get you get some of that.
That makes sense.
Sure.
That's interesting, bro.
So.
You know what you made me think of with the chain smoking too? You guys ever see that first season of it's with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey?
True Detective.
Oh,
Detective?
Cowboy. Oh.
Yeah.
You ever see True Detective?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
I was thinking Cowboy Way.
Oh, that's a good one
Because-
too.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, I ain't thought about that movie in forever. Last week the homie brought up 187. I hadn't thought about that one, but damn, Cowboy Way.
Cowboy
Damn,
Way.
I'm gonna have to go watch that shit. But True Detective, man, Matthew McConaughey must have smoked all of the fucking cigarettes.
Yeah.
He made me feel sick watching that shit, bro. He's just sitting there in that interview room, just smoking. Yeah, man. I've always just filming music for me, right? It's like my escape, bro. It's like my getaway.
Yeah.
And I've tried, I've showed my kids a lot, dog. And I realized the other day that I hadn't properly showed my oldest Pulp Fiction. It's interesting you brought up Pulp Fiction. Because he just, for some reason, it was one of the films that just didn't, he skipped that day of film class in the living room, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we're watching Pulp Fiction. Dog, Samuel L. Jackson, that's his fucking movie, bro. He steals every fucking scene, dog.
Yeah.
When he says, what ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English or what? That shit is amazing, bro. When he's like, can I take a drink of this tasty beverage to wash this down? And he just slams that shit in front of him? Nah.
That's why, like, when he did, you remember for Breaking Bad, he did all of his he did his own renditions of some of the dialogues. Like, he got on YouTube, and we were all like, Samuel L. Jackson's doing, like,
Hold on, he did that?
Yeah. Go, check it out.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
let's see, pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up, Jamie. We ain't got
that's
to.
great.
Yeah,
You guys cut it in
You
later.
see that shit?
Oh,
We'll
you
cut.
see that?
Oh, look, we'll cut it in. You can tell he's in the film industry. Pull it up. Oh, that was amazing. Hey, good job, Jamie. Good job.
But so Samuel L. and then at the end, Anthony Hopkins, same thing. But yeah, Samuel L. is just—he's a legend. 187,
Yep.
Another great film of his.
Yeah, and I got one for you, a good one to show your kids. But El Mariachi, you ever watch El Mariachi?
Fuck yeah.
That's what inspired me. And I was talking to a kid the other day. He came up and he was like wanting to get into film, and I told him watch El Mariachi, and then read Rebel Without a Crew, because when I was in college, and then I said, and then go watch it, and then watch it again, but watch the director's cut, and it with the director's commentary, and that's what really. That's where my own film school, like my own studying, that's what I was doing. I watched Heat so many times, man. Watch Michael Mann, like, talk about, like, that's where I think you can learn a lot from that. And that's one thing I miss about DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, man.
That's why I don't take them back.
Nah. Maybe my brother was on to something with his fucking Redbox shenanigans.
But on the red boxes, they don't have like all that extra.
Sometimes it can fit the commentary on the single disc.
Yeah.
But all the good shit's on that second disc.
Yeah.
I'll sit there for hours and watch that shit. My son Johnny Jr., he's the same way. I'd walk into his room and he was I'm like, why the fuck are you just watching the commentary of Space Jam? He's like, I don't know, this is interesting. I'm like, you're fucking. One time he found a game. What fucking movie was it, Dom? There's a game on Shrek.
On the disc.
I was like, what are you doing playing the Xbox? He's like, I'm not playing the Xbox, Dad. This is on Shrek. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a game on the extras, bro. That's Johnny, bro. Johnny Jr. Commentary.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for a while, they're getting wild with the extras. Like, you could get on and all these different,
I liked the ones before that we made the switch completely, when it was like interact in the actual movie, right? So you put it on, it would like pop up and it'd tell you this, that.
Like pop-up video.
That actually, I was watching, I think it was AMC again, man. Shout out AMC. We were watching, it was the 31 Nights of 31, exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's like me drinking out of the Blake's Club, huh? By the way, this is Great Blake's Water, sponsored by Albuquerque. I was watching the 31 Nights of Halloween or whatever it is on AMC when they do all of the horror movies, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching the original Michael Myers, and this was before Rob Zombie did his remake. And that's how I knew he was going to do the remake, because on there it popped up. by the way, Rob Zombie's working on a new remake of Halloween. So me as like a film and movie buff, bro, I like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it, and we miss that now with streaming.
Yeah.
We don't get none of that shit.
Yeah.
We don't get
Yeah,
none of them extras.
I was working on a on a show, CSI Miami, and one of the other actors, you see him a lot in shows. He was one of the regulars, well, guest stars, and bald headed, like tats all the way up, like to his neck everywhere, and like super intelligent actor though. And he was like, you know what's gonna mess us up? He's like, this is gonna mess us up.
Fuck.
He's like, this is changing. He's like, because he was talking about Breaking Bad, and he was like, we're not going to see anything like that again for a long time. He says, because those beats, we're not going to be able to take those beats, you know, because the audiences aren't going to be there for those beats. You know, everything's going to be short content because they're all going to be watching on this.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to stick around to watch whatever. I mean, you see that more, but the current generation, they're on their phone while there's a show going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Not really digesting it.
Yeah, not
completely.
fully taking it in. So,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well.
I think we all are. Like, it's hard not to be, bro. Sometimes I'll be like, wait, what did he say? Run that shit back real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I just started this last season, the Yellow Jackets, last night. Good fucking show, too.
Yeah.
But I had to, like, I'm like, what? Hold on, wait. Rewind. And I was on my phone too. I was like, what the fuck she just say? Hold on. We'll run that shit back. Reminded myself of my dad, bro, because he used to watch shit like that without a phone.
Yeah.
He'd fall asleep. Hold on. What the fuck did they just say? Run that. One time we were, what was it? It was Passion of the Christ.
Oh,
right?
no.
Bro, we're watching that shit. My dad's down there snoring, bro. Right? Man. He wakes up. He's all, yeah, it happened. I'm like, you ain't even watched the movie. Because I was raised Catholic. I know this whole fucking story in and out, bro. He's all, rewind it. I want to see that shit.
How you going to do Jesus like that?
How you going to fall asleep during when they're whipping them through the streets, Dad? This is the most violent shit I ever seen. It's funny, bro, skewing back to Samuel L. Jackson, I was reading, I think it was yesterday, because, your phone pays attention to what you're doing, and I was talking about Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
He said that Bruce Willis told him a long time ago, probably when they were filming fucking Pulp Fiction, he said, find yourself a character you can always come back to after you drop a shitty movie. Fast forward to Nick Fury, right? And think about Bruce Willis with Come to the Coast, we'll have a few laughs. How many fucking Die Hard movies did he end up making when it was all said and done? It's fucking Die Hard.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a hot take here.
What's this?
You know what my favorite Die Hard movie is? Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Really?
With Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
that's-
for sure.
That's like
Wow.
the only
That-
one
I was
can
just
remember.
thinking. I was just thinking of that scene in the park with the water
Bro,
bottles,
when
and
they're
I was
measuring it
I
out?
don't think I could have figured that shit.
Hell no!
For me, man, Die Hard
original.
is like a Christmas. It's like a classic, man.
No, it's a Christmas
You
movie,
know?
too.
It's
I
a
agree with
Christmas
you.
movie.
Oh,
yeah.
is it?
It is. It is. I said it. This fucking guy, bro. Every fucking episode, we had an argument, bro. Because I love horror movies, right?
Yeah.
And he told me, and I lashed out, Rage Against the Machine, that Christmas movies are better than Halloween movies. So the horror movie fanatic brain lashed out. I said, fuck that. That's ridiculous. But not all horror movies are Halloween movies. Right. It has to be during Halloween.
Yeah.
So when we broke it down like that, I had to come back and admit I'm wrong for the third episode, Len. When can I get down off this cross, dog? Yeah, Christmas movie. So the reason I feel like it's a hot take because I feel like most people say that. Like I love the first one. The first Die Hard is amazing, bro. Fuck, Die Hard with a Vengeance, though.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I gotta go back. I gotta
Him and Samuel L. Jackson on that shit, bro.
Yeah.
God damn.
Jesus.
Whenever he's in the tunnel and Samuel L. Jackson's driving and you just see fucking Bruce Willis come flying out of the hole, bruh. Yeah. Man, it's sad, bro. Bruce Willis was great, dog.
I know.
Like,
when I first moved to LA, I used to one of my first little jobs. I was an intern for a literary agency, and my former manager, who became ran this literary agency, I go walk her dog like around the promenade in Santa Monica, and then at lunch we'd go to have lunch at there was a little Italian place, but Bruce would always be there.
Really?
Yeah. And that was cool, you know, because he'd see him pull up, and and a few times like he'd say hello because he knew my I guess like my boss at the time, and he seemed like such a cool dude, you know.
You sometimes it kind of comes through, and then other times you see people in real life that you look up to, and you're like, oh man, this motherfucker, shithead in real life. You a shithead in real life. I don't like you. Is there any moments in your career where you met? I mean, outside of maybe what that might be, where you met like an actor or a musician, anybody that you looked at as like, holy shit, they're fucking famous, they're superstar. You met them and you were kind of like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I got a list.
I was ready for this question. I knew it.
Yeah, I was ready for this.
I knew it.
Let me start back in 95. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's situational. Sometimes, you know, you could meet someone on set and they're in their thing. They're doing, especially actors, you know, they're nailed into what they're doing. And then you meet them outside of that, completely different, you know, or you meet someone with their family and then it's like, you know, they're on family time.
Right.
So if you work together or whatever, it's like, you know, there's that. But the coolest, to give you like the coolest, the one that stands out is probably the coolest. Back in, when I first moved to LA, wanting to get into directing, I got on 21 Grams with Alejandro Nuratu, Guillermo Arriaga, Rodrigo Prieto. Those three were kind of, because like I said, just saying what we're saying, I watched all of those shows. I watched over and repeat, you know, constantly. Amores Perros was one of my favorite movies at the time. So when I had this opportunity, I was like, I'm leaving school. Yeah. Like I was going to school in California. I was like, I'm out, you know, I'm here. So we're here shooting, and so I spent all that time with Benicio del Toro on 21 Grams. I didn't know if he knew who I was. You know, you talk here and there, little things. But I get back to LA, and you know, finally getting back to rest and everything else. And I'm on the freeway, which is anyone been on the 10, you know, headed to Santa Monica. It's like a super busy freeway. So check this out. I'm driving down the 10 westbound. I'm on like the fast lane, comes to a stop. Big black Escalade pulls up to a stop. He has a 21 hat. He looks over at me. I look over at him like, holy shit. And all he does, tip his cap. And he gives me a, what's up, man? You know, and then we go our separate ways. So like in my head, like as a motivation, I was like, I want to be able to be like that. You know, I'd never want to get into the work so much, whether if it's directing, you know, producing or on the acting side, so much that it's like the people are really what matter. You
100%.
know, we're creating people, we're creating a story, and it's people that are creating these people. So back to like the creative culture of it, he showed me that's what matters, you know, and because when you're a number one on the list, the call sheet, which Benicio was, you know, when he's setting the tone. He's helping the directors, the producers set that tone for that show. So everyone's looking at him. You know, if he's walking around and he's humming, you know, whatever the favorite song, you know, everyone else starts doing the same, you know. So, or if he starts talking about Die Hard with a Vengeance for the next hour, everyone else is talking about Die Hard with a Vengeance, you know, or which is better. So all that lays in, all that matters. So I don't know. There's sometimes where you run across that, and I think more so everyone else is kind of like, oh, that's shitty, you know, like we all like that person, we all like have grown to love that person, but the standouts are people like Benicio, you know,
that show that kind of, I mean, people, Doug. I had that experience, and I'm not gonna throw homie under the bus. Oh, come on, man. I ain't gonna give you the clout. Just do it, bro. Hold on, I got my list. Just do it, dog. Come on, bro.
Yeah, don't be like
you
that.
Go viral, dog. For sure this episode gonna do it. It was my first big tour, right? And I was just excited to be there, dog.
Yeah.
Right? I'm fucking 25, right? We're on the lowrider tour, bruh. And I'm sitting there like, fuck, this is crazy. This is the most people I've ever seen. And I'm backstage, and I'm smoking with some legends, bro, that like I grew up listening to, right?
Yeah.
And one of them was sitting there getting high. And little homie walks up, right? And he's about to get on stage. Little homie walks up, and he knows word for word one of his biggest hits, right? Little man must be 5, right? And I'm sitting here 25, green as fuck, just like, damn, that shit's sick. Look at this 5-year-old know this shit word for word. Homie said, hey, bro, stop. I'm about to get on stage right now, and I don't know where I need to go, and now my whole crew is gone, bro, and then just left.
Wow.
I seen Lil Man's whole fucking soul just break, bro.
That's shitty.
It was the shittiest shit I'd ever seen in my whole life, bro. I was like, hell no, fuck, because I got kids too. Fuck this motherfucker. So I went up to Buddy. I was like, hey, bro, my bad, dog. That dude's a fucking bozo. Here's my mixtape, bro. Listen to it one of these days.
Yeah.
Left.
So you walked up to the kid and cussed him out.
I did a little bit. Fuck
Hey,
this guy, motherfucker. I threw him a mixtape and a shirt that I had just made, bro. And I was like, that deuces, bro.
Dope.
Fast forward, I end up back at Pueblo like, I don't know, 8 years later, some shit like that. And we're selling merch by the booth. I obviously had been on the road now, so I mean, I wouldn't say I was the fucking cream of the crop, but I was not green like I was at 25. So we're back in Pueblo. I'm sitting there, boom, boom, we're selling merch, and Buddy walks up to me, tall now. I was like, who is this? He's like, hey, you remember me? And I was like, I don't, bro. My bad, bro. I meet people all the time. He's like, you think you can sign the mixtape? It was the mixtape that I had given when he was a little fucking kid. Pulled back up, bro. He bought the new album, and we just sat there and chopped up game, bro. Like, so that let me know, for one, don't meet some of your heroes.
Yeah.
For two, people are people, dog. I don't care what kind of recognition you get or what kind of cool shit you do in life. My brother, you're just a fucking person, bruh. You're just a person. You're still the dude that was out there fucking herding sheep. Yep. By the way, we got to run back to that because I had a lot of dogs go to sheep camp, my brother. Were any of them there, dog?
They're all there,
because
Good answer, dog.
I kind of feel
They're all there.
I kind of feel like my grandpa was lying to me, dog. Right? You guys don't need that many dogs at sheep camp, brother. Because what are the fucking shepherds doing if there's that many dogs over there? He convinced me that there was a sheep camp in Acoma and all my dogs were there.
Bro, sometimes I've been to sheep camp when there's more sheepdogs than there are sheep. There's like 5 sheep. There's
This is dog
16
camp.
sheepdogs, you know?
Dog camp.
It's like 50 Cent when he used to go on stage and it'd be him and then he'd have like 50 dudes with him.
Oh, yeah.
It's that same type of thing.
With
You
all
know,
the
one
fucking,
sheep with all the sheepdogs.
The sheepdogs.
Yeah.
Bro, because we were right there, San Fidel, so we were right there by Acoma and Laguna, you know, so we had the dogs from San Fidel and Cebolleta, and for some reason we were that close to the road. All these dogs ended up at the sheep camp in fucking Acoma and Laguna. Why didn't we have any sheep camps? That's what I'm curious. Why were all the sheep camps just on the res?
Yeah.
That's the question. We had sheep too.
Couldn't get there.
No, we couldn't get there. So I'm convinced maybe they shipped them out to Arizona.
Maybe.
I don't know, dog.
Yeah.
So Jeremiah, my brother. So what's popping now, dog? What you got cracking, bro? I know I see you out here running and gunning, bro.
Yeah. So I'm in and out of Albuquerque now and then, in and out of the Southwest. I still got been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life since the age of 19. Have a 20-year-old construction company. On our 20th year this year, this is our anniversary.
Oh man, it's awesome. Make some fucking noise for that, Jay.
Yeah, let's go. But you know, we're a team. Like it's not one person wears a crown heavier. You know, shout out to Brandon over there working. You know, and we were just talking about this morning because I was saying like, hey, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel about our crew, our team? Like, what do you think? Mm-hmm. You know, and it's a great thing when you got a good culture and everyone is vested in looking out at different things, and that tells you, you know, I mean, you want that culture, you know, you want something that, you know, feels inclusive but not exclusive, you know, and you want to pull off good, big things, you know. So I mean, that's a huge motivator. That's my daily. The acting stuff, I mean, you saw it. It's like that's a grind too, but the business stuff, that's my 10,000 dribbles a day. You know, that's what I've been at since I've been young, and the acting stuff, it feels like a byproduct of the creativity and all the other things. When I get to do it, I try to remember and not take it too serious. Of course, take it serious, but not too serious where you're thinking, and sometimes I forget, like with all this, like, I'll be on, we'll be working or whatever, and someone will be like, hey, can I take a picture? And then you're kind of like, yeah,
shit, that's right.
What? Like, and then you're like, oh, yeah. Let's do that, So, it also keeps you humble, because you have humbling moments. I had a friend, he used to say, Jeremiah, he's a real humble guy. He's got a lot to be humble about. So,
you got to keep those homies around, dog.
Yeah, you need that, and that's a good point. Is that you need people that'll level you to a certain extent and be like, oh, come on, man, remember that one time, and you're like, oh shit, we're gonna bring up that one time. But people need that, and people don't get that, And I think what happens sometimes is people they go in the less abrasive, or they shed the people that are going to keep it real, and they lose that. And then they lose themselves in the whole process of whatever. So my new thing is I'm going to do projects that I'm really excited about, that I really want to do, and they may be few and far in between, but I think that the thing that happened over my last project, I got injured. I was shooting American Primeval. So anyone's watched it, thank you. Shout out to American Primeval. It came out amazing. Anyone that knows Peter Berg, Lone Survivor, anyone that's watched the Mark, our writer who did Revenant, it's kind of like you're meshing those two together. So it was an intense shoot. I think you said you were on that for a few days.
Yeah, on the drone crew.
On the drone
crew. The set was amazing, bro.
Crazy sets, right? Yep. So we're doing it, and I get injured, and I can't finish the rest of the shoot, and then we fall right into the writer strike.
Oh, damn!
So I didn't get to complete it out like I would have. But what made me think was like, this is a thing that's serious. Like if you're going to do it, you have to be able to do it 100%. And in a scene, things happen, things happen that you can't plan, and you have to still carry out the scene. You have to still be in it. But I think it made me realize with that downtime, like I want to get back to the directing, that's what I came in this for. And not that I'm not grateful, so grateful to work with all the directors, showrunners, actors, really great people. But I want to get back. I want to get back into that.
That's dope. That's what I was going to ask you, because I remember you had said that was like your first passion about it.
Yeah,
was directing.
Yeah.
And how did you get hurt?
So we were filming a scene. In the scene, so we were filming and we were getting close to lunch. So close to lunch, horses are tired. Everyone's tired, and everyone's trying to rush to make this thing happen. So we're pushing at the same time. I'm riding bareback, and when you're riding bareback, it's a different connection to the horse. You don't have that saddle between you,
100%.
And it's your legs can gas out pretty quickly if you've been on it for a long time. The long story short is that we're shooting the scene, and the other actor slaps the horse on the ass, and then I run out. So we have this little spat between us. He hits it, and I run off. And so in that last take, my last take, he hit the horse. The horse kind of got spooked, jolted. I think I maybe moved a little bit off, and then the horse bucked. And I'd like to think I could be a good legacy for my father.
Yeah.
But with a saddle, when your legs are gassed and you're bareback, it's a whole different thing. So yeah, I collided twice, hit the horse in the head. And yeah. So the horse won.
No shit. Dog.
Damn.
They're hard headed like a motherfucker too.
Yeah.
Like, damn, you're lucky you didn't split your whole fucking wig open.
Yeah. You got to be careful and here's the blessing is that happens. And, one of the actors sees it, kind of probably saw that I was maybe out, grabs me, pulls me off of my horse onto his horse, and then this big ass like Wrangler out of the middle of nowhere because we have the guys that wrangle. He grabs the horse, pulls the horse to the side. Like, here's the horse's neck. Pulls the horse to the side, grabs me.
I love verga.
Like, this dude was like the juggernaut.
Yeah.
You know, wherever he is, shout out to that guy.
No,
you know, and shout out to Chris Martin, the other actor, because yeah, I mean, that could have been a lot worse. You know,
No
if I
shit.
fell off. Yeah, that could have been.
Could have broken your neck.
Oh yeah,
Man, you could have been out here on some Christopher Reeves, bro.
yeah.
Like,
It could have been bad.
it's no
you know?
joke, bro. Horses, bro, when I was little, fucking idiot, bro. I swear to God. I was like 6, maybe 7. My grandpa had left this, because I couldn't saddle a horse yet, right? We were always riding, but I was never driving, right? I was always passenger, right?
Yeah.
My grandpa one time left the horse saddled, and I noticed. So the whole night, I'm like, I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to sneak out this bitch. We going for a ride, motherfucker. I jump out my window, right? So we're in San Fidel, so we're right next to the Arroyo, right? So I get on the horse. I'm good. I'm like, I could do this. Take off. I'm good, bro. Start getting faster. We get down to the Arroyo, right? So we're going up the Arroyo. A fucking snake.
Yep.
Horse fucking bucks my ass off. I go flying. Guess where I land? Right into a fucking cactus, bro. It was fucking. I was in my pajamas. They were the ones, the zip up joints too, with the feet on them. Ooh, dog. The horse got up to the top of the Arroyo and just stayed there. Right. For one, I didn't give a fuck that I was in the cactus. I was worried. I'm caught now. I'm fucked. Like, now, how am I going to lie? How am I going to say that I wasn't out here with the horse? So I get out of the cactus, bro, and I climb up to the top, and the horse was, I had to use the fence to get on the horse before.
Yeah.
I couldn't get on the horse, so I had to get the reins, and I had to walk the horse back to the fucking house covered in cactus, bro. And it was everywhere. They were pulling cactus out of my fucking little stupid ass for like a week and a half, bro. And my grandpa that was the only time I can remember my grandpa getting pissed at me. And as a kid, I was just like, my grandpa's fucking mean. Fuck no, bro. I could have died, bro. My little stupid. They would have went to the Arroyo and they would have found me in a cactus with a broken neck, bro. But I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't know shit. I needed to still be the passenger for a while, dog.
I got a question for you.
Yeah,
so you said a couple times how important directing is. Is there any particular story that you want to tell or that you want to treat?
Yeah, that's a great. It's actually something that I've been getting back to writing, and there's definitely different. I think the easy vein, not easy, but what would be what could fall into is just like some of the stuff that I've already been in. You know, that type of story I think is natural. I feel like I know it. But when I think into like what is actually interesting, long format, short format, like a movie. There's a few shows that I like right now, but for right now, it's kind of just outlining different types of stories. Dark comedies. I love dark comedies. Dramas. There's things that I think I do really like. Pulp Fiction, of course, everyone wanted to be Quentin Tarantino, in film school and stuff like that, in those film programs. I never got into film school. Here's the funny thing is, right before I left LA and went back several times, my first time leaving LA, I'm at UCLA doing a tour. Like they're doing the campus tour. So I'm walking around. It's beautiful. I've never been, bro. I went to 5 high schools out here. I went to, I don't know how many middle schools, but it's not UCLA. Yeah. Definitely not UCLA. So I'm at UCLA like, whoa, this is crazy. Like what? And so we're going around and I get a call and it's my I'm with the group doing the tour. I get a call and it's my roommate. My roommate's like, hey, your letter came in. Like from UCLA,
Sick.
It's like, yeah, it's in. Do you want me to? And I'm like, oh my God, this is. And I was lined up on my way to go to You ever watch Insomnia with Al Pacino? You know, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way to that screening, and I just finished this tour, and I'm like, this is it. Like,
The universe is putting me right here
in the sky. Like I already saw my name on the marquee. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yep.
And then she's like, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, you didn't get in.
Fuck.
Fuck. And I was like, oh dang. So and then it was just kind of downhill from there. But I went and watched the screening, and Christopher Nolan in the Q&A. You know, stuck around listening to the Q&A, and he was just like, you know, for all of you that didn't go to film school, he's like, for everyone that went to film school, congratulations, amazing, like, you know, hats off to you, all the dedication. And I'm like, you know,
rubbing it in.
Yeah. And then he's like, but for those of you that didn't get in, I never went to film school.
Sick.
And he's like, and I took a longer path, and I learned all these other things on my own, and it was maybe not as easy. And he said, and so I was inspired. I left inspired by that. You know, that really kind of that drove something in me that, like, it's not over. No. You know, and I think that's a big thing because, you know, culturally, or coming from Albuquerque, you could easily get stuck and either one, have a good idea and think, oh, it's the greatest thing, the greatest idea, and someone else does it, or you just get crushed. You know, your friends, your family, your people around you are like, bro, you're never going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, or the minute that you try, or the minute you start to get some momentum, they're dogging on you.
So you
know?
think you're all bad now,
you
or
think
what?
You're all bad now.
So
you know?
think you're all bad now. This guy's on Breaking Bad. He's at UCLA. Well, I remember when you were herding sheep, dog. Yeah.
So I mean,
there's a level of humble and there's a level of hater.
Yeah.
There's a balance.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. So I mean, that's I think that's what I picked up. You know, but being in it and having those intersections, that really helped me, you know, just to realize. And then you veer off the course and you become an actor, and you're kind of like, wait, what? I got in this thing to do something else.
Oh yeah.
You know? But I was learning. I've learned so much. Like, I've learned so much about storytelling. You know, Vince Gilligan, Clint Eastwood, which I mentioned, you know, Chris Eyre, who's my buddy, and now he's, you know, Dark Winds, which is, you know, on their third season. You know, so many great storytellers. You know, I just can't. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, I got to work with those guys, and I try to soak it in, you know. But working with Clint Eastwood, back to the horse stuff, you know, that's the reason why he doesn't yell action. But the crazy thing is, Clint, he just either nods his head or he says okay, and bro, like, birds stop chirping. It's crazy.
Fucking Clint Eastwood, bro.
It's crazy, man. Like, he's there and like he's like, okay. It's like, how do you do? And then here we are, like, how we're shooting right now. You know, you got your setup. He'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, I think we got that. And then you're sitting there like, you think, oh, really? You think we got it? He's like, yeah, I think we're good. You feel good? I'm like, you know, you don't want to say you don't feel good and make everyone do it again. You're kind of like, yeah, I feel good. And then it's like, okay, cool. What do you want to do next, Clint? It's like, well, let's turn it around. So then you flip around and takes 2 minutes, and then it's like, okay, we're ready. Ready when you are, Mr. Eastwood.
That's crazy.
It's like he's not doing so big elaborate setup. He's not like his whole crew, back to the creative culture. You know, they're used to like 9 to 5 hours.
Yeah,
that's
you know?
wild.
Yeah. And still he's crushing his days, bro. Like, he's crushing. And it's just going at his own pace. You know.
I wonder if because I mean, you think generationally, right? You bring up Clint Eastwood, you're going to get different reactions. This new generation doesn't really think of Clint Eastwood as an actor, right? Look at the movies he's directed in the past, let's say 15, let's even say 20 years, right? I know he's been in a lot of those movies, in some of them, but when I was a kid, to me, Clint Eastwood was fucking...
He was the main actor.
He was he was the actor, dog. Like, he was in fucking Westerns and like...
Gunsmoke.
I wouldn't associate him as like a director.
He's acting too.
Yeah, do you think maybe?
I'm too young, man.
He might have been in some movies.
I just thought he was a director.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
No,
he's on. I actually heard He may be an influencer, dog. We haven't entered our Clint Eastwood influencer
His family
era.
has that
He'll blow
reality
up on
show.
TikTok.
Could you imagine a Clint Eastwood reality show? That'd be fucking
Mid
crazy.
90s, man. He's getting there. He's
Hey,
good. Yeah, that's
bro,
the next.
and that's even
That's the next
crazier.
breakthrough.
Bro, he's like almost 100, dog. Like
I know.
he's a staple. Like Hollywood, like he's seen it all,
It's built
bro.
on people like that.
Yeah.
For real, like he's the last of like the last. And I wonder if he, like you were saying, like your first passion was directing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a similar course for him. I wonder if he always wanted to be an actor, or he's like, nah, I want to be behind the camera. I want to tell the story. Curious.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like I said, I watched a lot of interviews, director commentary, and I think he was saying that he always felt like a storyteller, and and I think that's a common theme, a lot of people that kind of go back in between, they feel more like they're storytellers.
Yeah.
They want to just tell a story, whatever that is. If they're going to be the producer, they're going to be the director, they're going to hold the camera, whatever that is, they want to be in it,
Regardless, whatever the vessel is, whether
Yeah.
you're the actor. And it's wild to me. We've talked about this a lot because, a bunch of people around us have been in the industry in some way, shape, or form, right? Especially down here in New Mexico. Like, so we get to see certain things that some people don't, right? And the amount of people it takes to make a movie or just one single episode of something. The amount of people, the amount of time, the amount of energy, the amount of effort, and the amount of happy accidents it takes to get that final cut, to me, is fucking crazy, bro.
It is crazy.
It's like almost surreal. Like if you tried to explain it to somebody that didn't understand it, like there's no way. That's why when you see the credits roll, it's like, as a kid, you're just like, all right, cool, movie's over. But as an adult that, has a bunch of friends and family and people that I know that are in the industry, those credits roll and you're like, damn, look at that. Look at that. All the people it takes for that.
Yeah, and we have a picture where we're out in the middle of nowhere. We're shooting. I hate to say out in the middle of nowhere. That's where my people are from, but we're kind of like out, basically what you'd think out in the desert. And you zoom out and you pull away, and there's this little city. Like we created this little town just to like, mobily live in for the day. Because, you could go to set, you drive to set or you're driven to set, and then you're kind of in your own world, and then you get there and then it's, oh, hey, how's it going? You want coffee? What do you want to eat? You could just fall into that rhythm. But that day I was like, I'm going to walk out a little bit. I'm going to see where we are. And then just getting that feel. Actually, I think one of the ones I had that experience was my last episode of Better Call Saul, when we were, God, I'm trying to think. It was when Michael's character, when he got, when that was the end, when it was basically the end of all of that storyline.
Yeah.
It was that same thing, because you think of all the resources and everything goes into it. And sometimes it's crazy. Like, sometimes we'll have like the espresso guy. And I remember I was on a show and we had the espresso guy, and then we had a masseuse. And espresso guy, his job was pretty much, nobody was coming around for espresso. So espresso guy is sitting there getting a massage. And I'm sitting there with another crew, and he's like, you want to know you want to know how I know we got too much money? And he's like, take a look at that.
Look at the
Dude's getting a massage.
massage.
Espresso guy. Yeah, so it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bro, that's fucking wild. My brother, I appreciate you pulling up, dog. I appreciate everything you've done, continue to do. I look forward to the direction you're headed, bro. Man, and you need somebody to wild out and pull up and be on screen for your directorial fucking situation. You know where to find my ass wilding out over here, brother.
All right. Love it.
What do you guys think? Time to get up out of here?
Let's do it.
Jeremiah, my
Wait,
dog.
I'm not done. I'm not.
Let's go.
This is the half point.
Oh, this is let's go. Hey, this
Everybody stay here.
This could be a 3-hour Joe Rogan episode, dog. Those are
part.
bro. That's 3-part episode. Hey, you're welcome back any fucking
thank
time,
you.
my dog.
Thank
Of
you,
course,
man.
brother.
I appreciate that.
All love,
Appreciate
always,
that. Thank
brother.
you,
You
guys.
stay
Hey,
safe
man,
out there.
Thank you for pulling up.
Thank
dog.
you, guys.
And next time you're out there, I need you to check and see if any of my dogs made it to sheep camp, my brother.
I got to get back out there, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, send me some pictures. One of them's named Bart. She's black and brown, brother. Been looking for I thought it was a fucking dude, all right? I was a kid, bruh.
Bartha.
If Bart is out there, you got to send me a picture and let me know,
man.
my brother.
I'll let you know. We'll keep an
Until
eye out.
next time, respect the connect. Peace.
It's picker than neck.